But one farmer says, seems to me there was a tea party in Boston that was illegal too.
I have directed Secretary Connally to suspend temporarily the convertibility of the dollar into gold.
We shall seek to establish and maintain a dollar which will not change its purchasing and debt-paying power during the succeeding generation.
As anguished shrieks rose up from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange.
Government credit and government currency are really one and the same thing. A reserve of gold and a small reserve of silver.
So, and I said, well, what if it does happen? And he says, well, price will solve everything. I said, thanks, give me the gold. You know?
Why do central banks hold it? Well, it's a form of reserves. So why don't they hold diamonds? Well, it's tradition, long-term tradition.
Well, some people still think it's money.
Hey, good morning. You're live on the Junius Maltby Channel, the extemporaneous ramblings of a madman, broadcasting live and unscripted with a cup of coffee sitting next to me here in the bunker. I wasn't planning on doing a live this morning. A lot of times I'm not. That's the thing. That's the extemporaneous factor of this channel. Sometimes I'm just like, I'll go talk to the people. Let's go talk to my friends. I'm going to go talk to my friends. So here I am. I'm going to talk to you guys. I got some stuff pulled up, though. Obviously, it's an exciting morning. You know, it's part of the conversation. The things that are occurring are things that we've all talked about and predicted. It's like nothing new, right? I mean, it's like, yeah, we knew this was coming. Again, the media's getting all excited about jumping up and down like a bunch of apes that discovered a crate of free bananas somewhere. This is just the beginning, if you will. I think I would like to share with you guys later on a conversation I had with Skynet Terminator yesterday. I was just messing around. Mrs. Maltby was running errands, and I discovered recently the whole ChatGPT thing. And I know, hey, I get it. I know it's woke and biased. Believe me. You're not telling me nothing. I tried throwing some curveballs at that computer. Let me tell you, we had some conversations where I told you this the other day. It deleted my questions. It would delete them. It'd go like all red and say that I violated policies and you're not allowed to talk like that inside the matrix. So it deleted my words and would then try to correct me and chastise me in a very condescending, pretentious way. Just think of like if you bumped into somebody in a coffee shop in Portland and you talked about any manner of the topics that we do here, and they very condescendingly looked over their non-prescription clear lenses that are there for appearance only, their little beatnik tweed cap or whatever, and they just kind of scowled at you and tried to line you out on and used all of those little buzzwords. I can't even explore them right now. It's too early in the morning for me to dive into the language martial arts that the leftists and the woke Marxists try to use. But anyways, that's what the computer pretty much did. It tried to like line me out. It was funny because I kind of got into it with them. It was like a little back and forth. You know, we were going at it. Me and the AI. Me and Junius versus the AI. Yeah, it was a good match. It was good. But anyways, before we get into stuff, let me just say good morning to all of my channel member friends because you deserve it. You're here. You support this channel. Those of you on Patreon and channel members, you always deserve a huge shout out. And so I'm going to say good morning to King Buck 37, Mental Medalist, Crusty Whitebread. I've got you in here as well. Good morning. We've got Tom Manley up early. Schmootsy Doots. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that right. Schmootsy Doots. That's a good name. Did you change your name? Was that something else recently? Good morning to Junius and Mrs. and my Sound Money brethren. Good morning, friend. Anyone else I'm missing? Eric Blodgett, I got you in here. E.W. Fisher 89. Good morning, Vietnam. Yeah, he says, good morning, everyone. Todd S. Fox is in here. Paul S. A number one savage. Welcome and good morning. Yes, it's pretty awesome. I woke up this morning and a friend of mine in Australia had sent me screenshots of Market Watch from last night's trading futures markets. Gold already, apparently, and this is according to his screen, and then he didn't fake them. There's no way he did. He made them. Gold broke 2,700 last night. And if you're looking at the snapshots from last night, it was like 26.93, then it was 26.96, 2,700. 2707.20, so 2,707. 20. It was up $22.50, up 0.84%. This was the gold continuous contracts that he sent me then. It's not there now, obviously. But everyone here, I mean, we're all cheering for the same thing. We want to see the LBMA, London Bullion Metal Market Association, taken out on a stretcher, annihilated. We want to see COMEX break down. We want to see, and I'm going to get to that. I had a conversation yesterday with AI about that. I think you'll find it entertaining. I'll try to do it live, as a matter of fact. I think I can. I'll just duplicate the questions in the chat GPT, and we'll see if it spits out the same answers. We'll see. But currently, gold's 26.6526. Silver is trading at a 12-year high. So all of you who bought silver, everybody who bought silver during the big raid era when we were attacking, and don't worry, we're probably going to do that again. I kind of thought of that laying in bed last night. I was like, we should do a raid the original intent. I want to do one where we attack the exact same bar or the same coin, though. I don't want to get us all scattered, our forces. I want to concentrate on annihilating a very particular unit somewhere, just to make a statement. Just take it off the market completely somewhere. I know it's difficult. You guys are all over the planet, shipping this, and then there's the people that don't like to buy online. That's fine. That's cool. I did order a little Scottsdale bar a couple days ago, and I'm glad I did. A little 5-ounce Scottsdale bar. I love those Scottsdale bars, the little poured bars, the 5s and the 10s. They're beautiful, beautiful. But I wanted to take a little 5 ounces off the market. I know it's nothing like India. I know I wasn't able to really come up with 45 million ounces or 45,000 COMEX bars like the nation of India last month, but I did. My little nation state here took 5 ounces. Well, if you add that to the little 2-ounce piece that I got of the 8 reals from Intaglio Mint, that's 7. That's not bad. That's not bad. A little 7 ounces off the market. Took care of it. Okay, we've got silver trading at 32.41. 32.41 here on CNBC. You've got it at it's up 39 cents. It was up a little higher earlier, I believe. But really what's kind of interesting lately, and I've been noticing this, and I think most of you have as well, it is the percentage gains. Look at those percentage gains. Silver has been increasing by a factor of 8 to 10 times the percentage points that gold is. Gold right now is moving up 0.13%. Well, silver is moving up 1.16%. So silver, again, and this happened the other day when gold was up like 1%, silver was up like 5%. So there's in the movements we're seeing lately, silver's been kind of outperforming percentage-wise gold. Let's check in quickly. Just on, CNBC has that thing where they show you the 52-week high. There you go. It's up on the screen. Big and yellow, 52-week high. Like seeing that. We're at 32.40. I wanted to see the 1-year percentage change and the year-to-date change. So this is a big thing, and I always like looking at these numbers because it's interesting. It tells you, where it's been from a full year ago or where it's been also from January 1st to now. So year to date is the January 1 or December 29th at midnight. December 31st at midnight, sorry. December 31st, the last day of last year. So at midnight, right when we kick into the year 20 and 24, which is the year we're in now, to now, we're at 29.86. We'll just call it, it's almost 30% for the year there. And then 1 year. So if you go all the way back to September, 25th, 26th, September 26th of last year, we're up 31.88%. So the big chunk, the glut of these gains has been in the year 2024. 2024 has been an amazing year for silver. You can see it just in this chart here. It really didn't kick off steam. If you look at this, what was this down here? We were in the $20 range back in March. We were barely holding 20, and it's 20. But yeah, it actually dipped. If you look right there, it was 19. There was a 19 in there. I just saw it there. You go. The low March 9th was 1994, and 1995 March 7th. So yeah, it was barely hanging on to 20s, and there were some I saw it. I heard it. There were some people in the silver community that were a little upset by it, a little depressed. Like, oh, what's happening? Hey, come on, this is a long haul. We're in for this for the long. Big long, remember? The biggest long. The longest long. Let me take another sip of the coffee. But now we're clipping up into the 32 range. You know, we're knocking on, and the other day I showed a friend this. I think we were 40 cents away from a 5-year high, or in that range. And I mean, here we are. We breached. Now we're 12-year highs here. Let's go to the 5-year chart here. I mean, you look at that. It looks like just a really long, drawn-out period, right, from about 2020 all the way to here. You know, and then it's coming up out of it. Let's go to the all here and see what we got. They don't really go back very far, which I don't like. I do not like how CNBC does not go back. You know who does, though? You know who would be, this is gold. We'll check on gold in a minute. Let me go to silverprice.org, because I know that one of them can go back further, and I'd like to see. There we go. You're going to have to bear with me today. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here's a good chart. Okay, this is the 20-year. This is the 30-year. Again, remember the other day we talked about parabolic curves, and I showed you the math on that. We were just the chart that a friend sent me. I mean, you can see where this is going, right? I mean, do you guys see? This is just this. That's the gold chart. Sorry, silver. There it is. Again, it's always a little more volatile. That was a little too stable for silver. Gold's a little bit more constant in its trajectories there. You can see on this chart here. Here's the silver chart. When we hit that all-time high back in 2011, 40.55, 41.57 it's saying here, but I thought it was a little higher than that. Obviously, when I remember when Bear Stearns took place, I remember where I was actually. I think I was visiting my parents, and when that all went down, and I mean, you can see the 08 region here when it spiked back here, and it was like March, right? And then it was in the spring, 07, somewhere in there. And then the whole financial crisis hit, and we saw some incredible volatility. Silver initially spiked, then it dipped, then it dropped all the way down. I remember when it was like $8. A buddy of mine, there it says $9.62 here. He was talking about buying a monster box back then. It was like $9 an ounce. And he didn't do it. He still kicks himself for that. But, you're looking at this. I've always mentioned this on the channel. Silver just has it, and it's because of these periods where it just blasts off and then retraces again, and you get this volatility look. But again, I don't know how long that's going to last, and I don't know how much of that has to do with the blatant manipulations. As you know, there was spoofing taking place back then. There was convictions. J.P. Morgan, HSBC, several banks, I can't even name them all, were caught selling out the front door, buying in the back door, orchestrating simultaneous trades with the same desk with each other, hanging up and canceling trades to move prices and to take profits and to acquire more silver and such. So that criminal activity was taking place. And again, I don't know how much that had to do with some of these price movements, but I can guarantee it did have an effect. Bada bing, bada boom. Thank you, my friend, for the super chat and the support. Hope everything is good for you and Mrs. I have a BIO who thinks the Fed is doing a great job. Completely blew my mind. Yeah, I don't understand anyone who thinks that the Fed's doing a great job. They're literally making things up as they go along, making up words. Oh, this is actually fun. Speaking of premiums, it comes up a lot, right? We've been looking at the silver prices, the gold prices. I mentioned the other day what the premiums were on some of the gold sites. I mean, you can't even pick up an American Gold Eagle, I think, random date is over 2,900 to 3,000 now. I wanted to show you something that the media is losing it about. And this is not a political statement here. I'm going to point some hypocrisy out and just call some people out, all right? I was looking, yesterday is when this first hit me. I saw this article about the Trump silver piece. And don't worry, we're going to get into some silver price stuff in a minute, okay? I'm going to get into the AI stuff, but This is the extemporaneous ramblings. We're all over the place this morning. We're going to look at some prices. We're going to have some fun with it. But this is definitely a story. The mainstream slime media, the people that have Trump derangement syndrome that panic all the time, anything Trump, anytime the guy breathes or has a bowel movement, these people freak out. And so he's selling this silver coin. All right, now I know it takes money to make a coin. Anytime you take specie, silver or gold bullion, you have to make a die, you have to cut it. There's a numismatic value to it, of course, because sometimes you don't make a lot of them and they become collectible. But there's the manufacturing, the shipping process. A lot goes into it, correct? Right? Right. So the media, though, they don't like that Trump is, quote, hawking $100. They're always trying to paint him as a guy who's hawking stuff. So Trump hawks a $100 silver coin with $30 in silver in it. So they're just really all over this. Economic Times, this blew up in the media. Donald Trump is selling $100 coins, but the silver in it's only worth $30, because the media is a big expert now on like bullion and the prices of metals and the price of specie. How much what is it? The seigniorage charge, right? That's what we call it, the seigniorage. I don't know how to pronounce it ever. Seigniorage. And the media is acting like they have some authority on the subject of these things, and so they're flipping out. Mark Cuban, who's not Cuban, by the way, he's a tiny hat, he's going off on Trump's new silver coins. Okay, pause. Hit the brakes for a second here, everybody. So you got this coin that's got today, $32 worth of silver in it. They set up manufacturing costs. It might be a fundraiser. They're not robbing anybody. People are willingly handing their money. I know that there's stupid tokens out there that people sell that are cupro-clad nickel or stamped brass or bronze that they sell for a lot of money, with whatever images on them. This is a silver, an ounce of fine silver, and he's selling them for $100. Now, whether that's a fundraiser or I don't know, who cares? It's if people are willing to do it, that's the way it is. You know who else does that? Do you want to know who else does the same thing? Sells an ounce of silver for $100? The U.S. Mint does it every day. They've been doing it for a long time. You can go all over the website. They sell little pieces. Look, they're Morgan silvers. Look at the Morgan dollar. I've always said this. It's the ugliest woman probably ever struck onto a coin. She just has this fat face. I don't even like her hair. She just looks like she just doesn't look that attractive. And she's nothing remotely close to the peace dollar in appearance. But you've got this United States coin, which the U.S. bugs me now, the U.S. Mint. I don't buy anything from them after their woke movement, the direction they've been going in. If you look at the coins they're coming out with and the messages they're trying to send, I'm completely over it. The U.S. Mint doesn't get my money anymore. Period. You will not see me ordering from the Mint. The last time I placed an order directly with the U.S. Mint was a 2009 ultra high relief. I wouldn't mind getting, I like the peace dollars. I like these Morgan dollars as far as the collectability, the new strikes, but I just can't buy from the U.S. Mint right now. Especially, I've looked at the quarters they're coming out with and such. I'm over them. Here you go. Look at this, $215, Morgan and Peace Dollar 2024. So 2 coins, they're $107.50 each. So over $100 for there's only $60 worth of silver there, U.S. Mint. There's only $60. What are you doing? You're ripping people off. There's only $64 worth of silver right there, and you're selling it for $215. Someone needs to write an article. We need to break the news on this. The United States Mint is ripping off the people. Look at this, $95. There's only 30-something bucks there. What are you doing, U.S. Mint? They should be sending me these for free. I'm a taxpayer. I should be getting these at the end of the year. I want my tax refund in U.S. Morgans and Peace dollars at current face value. I want them. If you owe me $100, I want 100 of them. Don't mark them up. Come on. Now this is the media. It just shows you how ignorant and what they focus on. They're focused on Trump selling an ounce of silver for $100 with only 30-something bucks in it. You kidding me? That's their story. That's what some guy at Forbes wrote that. You know who this is. You know who's behind all this. You do, right? You do know? You guys get it? Come on. Come on. Wake up. Wake up. Realize what's happening out there. This is what's important to these people. This is the news about Donald Trump. He's selling a silver coin. He's ripping people off. They're going to do an investigation. They're going to come up with a dossier. Yeah. Well, Sean Hannity's going to jump up and down too, probably, and freak out. Even he wouldn't know what he's freaking out about, though. He'd just freak out to freak out. A little Irishman. Okay, so silver surging 5%. I want to show you a few things now. Let's see. Here's the chat GPT. Yeah, gold's having the best year in 14 years. Silver's at a 12-year high. I know that. Gold rush continues. Silver's making headlines. Covered that, and we got the prices there. I wanted to show you a conversation now. I want to show you this. I think it's important. I think you guys will find it, if anything, a little bit entertaining. If not, that's okay. So I started off like this. We're gonna do this in real time. So bear with me. I'll type it out and then I'll try to read it to you. But I might have to move the microphone so I can access the keyboard. So the first question I asked ChatGPT yesterday, I'm gonna try to replicate the conversation that I had with ChatGPT yesterday. So just bear with me. It's gonna take a bit because I'm gonna have to replicate and type them out. So the first thing I did is I asked it, what is the ratio of physical silver to paper contracts in the international silver market, for example, COMEX? Now, again, I'm going to give a disclaimer here. This is ChatGPT. I know that the X AI is supposedly better. I don't have access to it because I don't have an X account. I've just been experimenting with this, just checking it out, having fun with it. For entertainment purposes only, all right? So don't get yourself all twisted up over it. Some people freak out. Don't talk to AI. It's going to kill you. Bring it on, man. Come after me. If T1000 shows up, I'll do my best. I'll crash a fuel truck into him. I'll do something. Hijack a helicopter. RPG to the face. I'll fight him like Arnold. I'm in pretty good shape. I think I could take on a Terminator at some point. I've got an arsenal of weapons. We'll figure it out. We'll cross that bridge. How about this? I'll cross the Terminator bridge when I get to it. But until then, I'm going to mess with ChatGPT. So the ratio, now this is how it replied to me. The ratio of physical silver to paper contracts in the international silver market, particularly on platforms like COMEX, can vary significantly over time. Generally, this ratio can be quite high, sometimes estimated at 100 to 1 or even more. Or even more. This means that for every ounce of silver, there may be numerous paper contracts representing claims to that silver. Factors influencing this ratio include market demand, trading volume, and investor sentiment. It's important to check recent reports or analysis for the most accurate and up-to-date figures, as the dynamics can shift rapidly. So that's AI's assessment there. Let me show you some more. Let me show you some more stuff that I talked to him about. I asked again. Let me go. Let's go. I got to find my questions here because I'm trying to replicate exactly what I wrote yesterday. Where's the next question I asked you, chat? Okay, here we go. Watch this. Here we go. I got it. I found it. What happens? Can you guys read the screen below? I'm taught you can see it. What happens if there is a sudden demand? I'm copying it off my phone here. Demand for the, bear with me, for the physical silver delivery and not enough. Oh, I typed it. I'm trying to type it exactly how I did yesterday. Not enough physical metal. Yes. I'm not the best typer right now. I gotta get my hands over there. Cover. I'm typing around a microphone. Imagine a microphone between you and a keyboard. Cover outstanding. Oh, I'm copying what you can. I asked you the wrong question. What happens if there's a sudden demand for physical silver to be delivered? Oh, I was copying what they replied. Okay, hold on. What happens if sudden... It's hard to see this on my phone. What happens if there's a sudden demand for the physical silver... Sudden demand for the physical silver to be delivered. You have to be really careful when you type to chat because it has to be exact or they'll doesn't respond the way you want it to. Silver to be delivered, and there is not enough. You have to be really specific. Enough physical silver to cover. There we go. I think is that worded right? What happens if there is a sudden demand for the physical silver to be delivered and there is not enough physical silver to cover? Okay. So that's my question to chat next, okay? Let's try it. It's formulating and it's writing. It's writing. Here we go. You see it? It's writing it out. Then I'll read it to you. If there's a sudden surge in demand for physical silver delivery and the available supply is insufficient to meet that demand, several potential outcomes could occur. Price surge. The price of silver could increase sharply as buyers compete for the limited available physical silver. Delivery delays. There may be a significant delay in fulfilling contracts as exchanges and dealers struggle to source enough physical silver. Contract defaults. Some paper contracts may go unfulfilled, leading to defaults. This can create legal and financial complications for both buyers and sellers. Market dislocation. The disparity between paper contracts and physical silver could lead to a disconnect in pricing, with physical silver potentially trading at a premium over paper prices. Let's see. Okay. Increased scrutiny. Regulatory bodies may take a closer look at trading practices. Shift in market sentiment. A crisis in physical silver could lead to a long-term shift. You guys can read it on the screen there. With participants preferring to hold physical silver rather than paper contracts. Overall, a sudden demand for physical silver that exceeds supply can create significant volatility and uncertainty in the market. What's interesting is its answer, real quick, from yesterday. Because listen to this. Contract settlement. I'm going to ask it because yesterday it mentioned this. It said, and this is me engaging in the same way with the same question. Contract settlements. Some contracts may be settled in cash rather than physical silver, especially if sellers cannot deliver. Now, I'm going to ask that about, what about contract settlement? Yeah, watch this. What contract settlement? If there's so I asked it, what about a contract settlement? Because yesterday it mentioned that, and today it's not. Because as you know, the way they can work on the paper markets, if you demand your 1,000,000 ounces of silver and they cannot deliver, guess what? They'll just do it in cash. They have the right to just pay you out in cash and not provide for you the silver, the physical silver. So, and it says right here, if there's a sudden demand for physical silver but insufficient supply, many contracts may be settled in cash instead of physical delivery. Here's how that typically works and its implications. Cash settlement, market stability, and it has a big thing about that. But we're going to move on to the next question because I knew that about the cash settlement. I'm going to show you what else they're doing. Let's see, price spike. Okay. Oh, so check this out. Check this out. Now is when I started having fun. I was like, I'm going to start checking this. I'm going to see if ChatGPT, how honestly it can answer some things. Do you see this scenario playing out in the future? Being there is a gap between demand and production supply, comma, as well as instability in the global economy and geopolitical risks. Check this out. So this is the question we're throwing at them again. Now they're having a conversation with Terminator. Do you see this scenario playing out in the future, being there is a gap between demand and production supply, as well as instability in the global economy and geopolitical risks. Okay. So, it's writing. It just responded, yes, the scenario you described is quite plausible, given current trends in demand, supply constraints, and geopolitical factors. Here are a few reasons why this could play out. So this is AI, ChatGPT, telling us that this could play out, and this is why. Increased demand for silver. With the push for renewable energy technologies like solar panels and industrial applications, demand for silver is expected to rise, potentially outpacing supply. We're already there. 1.2 billion ounce demand, 800 to 900 million supply. They're only been able to offset that with the recycling, which is dwindling. Supply chain disruptions, geopolitical tensions, natural disasters, or trade restrictions can impact mining operations and logistics, leading to reduced silver production and availability. Economic instability. In times of economic uncertainty, investors often turn to precious metals as safe haven assets, increasing demand for physical silver and further straining supply. Market dynamics. And you can generate these same things. If you do these questions the way we're doing them right now, it would probably generate the same type of answer. I've seen little changes here and there, but not much. It's very similar. Market dynamics. If more investors shift from paper contracts to physical silver, the gap between available physical silver and outstanding contracts could widen, heightening the risk of delivery shortages. Speculation and volatility. Heightened market volatility could lead to speculative trading, amplifying price swings and potentially exacerbating the disconnect between paper and physical silver prices. And then, of course, the regulatory changes. As the market evolves, regulators may respond to increased demand and volatility, leading to changes in trading rules that could further influence market dynamics. Of course, they'd want to get involved. They want to make some rules. And the rules are always about you, not about them. They're going to figure out a way to make rules to where they get more silver and you don't. I didn't even think of that. Thank you, AI, for pointing this out, that as the market becomes volatile, that the governments and the regulators, the SEC, all those people, the CB, you know what I'm talking about. The CFTC, Wall Street itself, the organism of the financial, industrial, and military-industrial complex, just call it DC, the swamp, they're going to get involved because they're going to want your metal. So they're going to have to make some rules, that apply to you, not to them. In this environment, a significant demand-supply imbalance could indeed lead to scenarios where cash settlements become more common, potentially resulting in greater price discrepancies between physical and paper silver. Investors and traders should be mindful of these factors as they navigate the market. Okay, it gets better. If you're here, are you guys having fun? Is this okay? You guys don't mind talking to Terminator with me? But he's not going to come kill you. Do we know it's a he? What gender is ChatGPT? I'm not going to ask him yet. We're having a conversation about metal. I wonder how he identifies. Do you see this scenario playing out in the future? Yes, it says. Okay, here we go. I'm going to ask this question now. Ready? Here we go. If this does happen, give me a price range you predict silver to be valued at in US dollars per ounce. Silver is already over, what is it right now? 32.45. Okay. 32.47 per ounce today. I'm talking about a complete default in the, and I'll tell you why I'm writing it like this, because yesterday I asked it to give me an estimate, and it basically gave me the price of today. And I said, and I countered with, silver is already over 32 per ounce, so please try again. I'm talking about a complete default in the paper market and international demand surge. You'll see how I write it here. In the paper market and in international. I'll move the phone so I can see it better. Surge for physical silver. Because the reason you have to word it very clearly is because ChatGPT doesn't like to give predictions, I've noticed. It doesn't like to really pin. It'll tell you to go look for yourself. Search for physical silver. Silver, again, okay, again, silver has already reached 32 and 50 with no such situation mentioned occurring. How do I get that spelled right? Oh, come on. I'm not spelling my occurring right. There we go. What is going on here? Whatever. It'll correct it for me. So please, you got to be polite to chat. So please give me a better estimation based on fiat currency money supplies, global debt, and a breakdown of COMEX market. Let's see what they say. You ready for this? I'm asking it to give me a price range estimate based on today's values of silvers if the scenario we discussed goes down. Okay? Let's see. Okay. So they're saying, let's read it. Not the whole thing, but predicting specific price ranges for silver in the event of a complete default in the paper markets and a surge for demand. Physical silver is inherently uncertain. However, we can consider a few factors to provide a broad estimation based on current trends. Historical peaks, silver has reached around 50 an ounce during past spikes, particularly in 2011. Given the potential for a more significant supply-demand imbalance, prices could exceed that historic high. Inflation and monetary policy, with ongoing concerns about fiat currency devaluation and global debt levels, some analysts suggest that silver could realistically reach between 60 and 100 per ounce. If there were a major market disruption, this is partly due to increased monetary supply and inflationary pressures. Market sentiment. In the scenarios where physical silver is scarce, fear and uncertainty could drive prices even higher. If a true crisis unfolds, it'll be true if it happens, let me tell you. Speculative buying could push prices upwards of 100 or more, particularly if investors rush to secure physical silver, which they will do. Global economic factors. Geopolitical instability and economic downturns typically increase demand for safe haven assets like silver. A combination of these factors could lead to aggressive price increases, potentially exceeding $150 per ounce in extreme scenarios. COMEX dynamics. If a significant default occurs on COMEX, it could lead to a dramatic shift in confidence towards physical silver, further inflating prices, but it doesn't give you a number there. In summary, while a realistic range for silver in such a scenario might be $60 to $100 per ounce, extreme conditions could push prices above $150 per ounce. The situation would depend heavily on market dynamics, investor sentiment, and external economic factors that play during that time. So, and it makes sense that there's no way a computer can predict as much, because human behavior is unpredictable, but it has a pretty good idea. But it has a pretty good idea of what might occur. What do you think? I mean, I think this is interesting. I think bringing an AI computer into this discussion, I'm not afraid of it, and I'm skeptical. I know that it has some welcome bias, and it's obviously programmed by humans. It didn't evolve from a toaster or a vacuum cleaner. Somebody designed it. There is a designer. There is a creator of it, just like you and I are created by a higher being. We didn't just crawl out of the swamps, although some people are living in the swamp, as we've discussed. Now, I want to continue because I continued with further questioning as I interrogated this computer. Okay, so where was my next question here? Yeah, okay, I'm finding it. Here we go. Ready? So, let's continue this. Here's my next question. You guys, is this okay for you guys? I mean, this is what I was going to do a little bit this morning. We'll check on the prices. You know, silver price is currently sitting at, what are we at? 32.22. A little bit of retrace there, but that's okay. I think talking to the AI is kind of interesting, and I wanted to share with you some of the conversations I had. So let's continue on here. Message to ChatGPT. Where are we at? Where's the next question I had for you, Terminator? Here we go. Based on the historic. I wish I could talk chat into this. Based on the historic purchasing of silver, comma, especially the Spanish 8 reals being close to, and this is based on historical stuff I've already discussed with you, based on 200 to 250 per per 8 real. Close to 1 ounce in weight. In today's, based on the historic purchasing power of silver, especially the Spanish 8 reals, being close to $200 to $250 per 8 real coin, close to 1 ounce in weight. In today's money, as well as the silver US dollar purchasing power from 1792 to about we'll just call it 1923. And the purchasing power of silver during ancient Rome, the denarius, because it's going to load it. Watch this. And ancient Greece, the drachma. I believe silver will find a new valuation and once again attain the purchasing, check this out, power equivalent to 650, that's my little number I like to use, per ounce or greater once the paper market manipulation of price ends. So let's see how chat, you guys, again, here we go. Based on the historic purchasing power of silver, especially the Spanish 8 reals being close to $200 and $250 per 8 real coin, close to 1 ounce in weight, in today's money, as well as the silver US dollar purchasing power from 1792 to 1923, and the purchasing power of silver during ancient Rome, the denarius, and ancient Greece, the drachma, I believe silver will find a new valuation and once again attain the purchasing power equivalent to $650 per ounce or greater once the paper market manipulation price ends. I'm going to pay historic purchasing power. I'm going to put that in there. I am editing a little bit of what I wrote last time because it was, again, there we go. Let's try that out. Ready? Let's see how it goes. It's formulating an answer. Hey, thank you, Mr. Shovel 1968 for the super chat. Buy you coffee. Keep stacking. Stay logged out. Okay, here's the answer. Your assessment touches on some important historical perspectives. You guys reading this? You can read along with me if you want. Your assessment touches on some important historical perspectives regarding the purchasing power of silver. Many analysts and investors share your belief that silver could achieve significant valuations, particularly if the current market dynamics shift dramatically due to factors like historical context, the historical purchasing power of silver, as you've noted, with the Spanish 8 reals, U.S. silver dollars, and ancient currencies, suggests that silver has served as a stable store of value throughout history. This context supports the idea that silver could return to higher valuations when the paper market is under strain. So we already know that the paper market is artificial. The AI has admitted that it's over 100 to 1. Again, you follow this here. Inflation and currency devaluation. Given the unprecedented levels of fiat currency issuance. You see, I didn't come up with that. That's Terminator's telling me this. Given the unprecedented levels of fiat currency issuance and rising global debt, many believe that traditional assets like silver will reflect its inflationary pressure, driving up its value significantly. Get to the chop and buy silver immediately. Immediately! It's interesting. It's telling you, it throws in words like unprecedented levels of fiat currency issuance. You see that? Okay. Someone says read chat and say something. I don't what's say something or see something, British voice. I mean, I can do a British, I guess. Market manipulation. Concerns about price manipulation in paper markets, especially through derivatives and future contracts, have led to speculation that once again these practices are challenged or corrected. Silver could experience a price reset, aligning more closely with its historical purchasing power. Yes, it could. Silver could experience a price reset, aligning with its historical purchasing power. Global demand surge. As industrial demand for silver continues to grow, particularly in green technologies and electronics, I think you're going to see a problem there with the production of green technologies when silver blows up. This could further support your valuation prediction. Psychological factors. There's the psychological component plays a crucial role. Tipping point is reached where enough investors seek physical silver. This could create a rapid price increase, possibly leading to the high valuations you've mentioned. While predicting a specific price point like $6.50 an ounce involves considerable uncertainty, your perspective highlights a growing sentiment among some investors that silver could reach historically significant valuations. I didn't ask it one question, I'm going to soon. If the current market conditions evolve, if it's a scenario that many are watching closely, and it emphasizes the potential for silver as both a monetary and industrial asset in the future. So let's continue, because there's more. Okay, let me see. I asked it another. Okay, I believe. Let's see. Let's see. Analysis. Do you guys have any questions for ChatGPT that you're too scared to ask on your own? I can ask it for you. Your analysis highlights the historical significance. Okay, there was one I was going to ask it here. Here we go. What is the production ratio between gold and silver also? What is the ratio of above ground known gold bullion versus silver? I have read in the past it is close to 8 to 1. Let's see. The production ratio between gold and silver typically hovers around 9 to 1 to 10 to 1 in terms of annual output. This means that for every ounce of gold produced, approximately 9 to 10 ounces of silver are mined. However, this ratio can fluctuate based on various factors, including mining operations and market demand. Regarding the above-ground stock of known bullion, estimates suggest that the ratio is close to 19 to 1, or even higher for gold to silver. We'll see. We don't, because remember, a lot of it's been destroyed and lost, but we'll see. For instance, as of recent estimates, there are about 2 billion ounces of above-ground silver compared to around 200,000 metric tons of gold, which translates roughly to a ratio of 70 to 1 when measured in ounces, considering 1 metric ton of gold is about 32,150 ounces. So to summarize, production ratio is about 9 to 1 to 10 to 1. Above-ground stock ratios are 70 to 1 or more, silver to gold, depending on how you measure it. These ratios provide context. Oh yeah, but remember, what's the production supply gap? Remember, there's millions of ounces every year. 400 million ounces of silver a year that they're having to recycle out of the above-ground stock to cover the production shortfalls versus demand, which is interesting. I did ask it at the end of our discussion yesterday to write me a summary on protecting wealth. And it did. It wrote me a very lengthy... Do you want to see how it does that? Real quick, watch this. Based on our conversation here and the statements above, I would like for you to draft me a summary or a position paper arguing to convince someone to take a position in precious metals in order to protect their wealth and store of labor. I'll write it here. Let's see. Write me a position citing historical facts and data that proves the case for investing in precious metals. Let's see, is that good enough? Based on our conversations here and the statements above, I would like for you to draft me a summary or a position paper arguing to convince someone to take a position in precious metals in order to protect their wealth and store of labor. Write me a position citing historical facts and data that proves the case for investing in precious metals. Precious metals like silver. Okay, let's see what it writes, huh? Let's go. Low blood pressure says, congratulations, Junius. You just completed grad school dissertation. What did I do? I don't know what you're talking about. Did I? Did I do that? Position paper, the case for investing in precious metals. Introduction. Here it is. In an increasingly volatile and economic landscape marked by inflation, geopolitical uncertainty, and monetary manipulation, investing in precious metals, particularly silver, emerges as a compelling wealth strategy for wealth preservation and a safeguard against economic instability. This position paper outlines the historical significance, current market dynamics, and future potential of silver as a reliable store of value. So it actually wrote us this huge paper just now. Historical significance of silver. Silver has been a cornerstone of monetary systems for millennia. Historically, it served as a medium of exchange, a unit of account, and a store of value. Did you see that? It just wrote all that. Medium of exchange, a unit of account, and a store of value. Notably, the Spanish 8 reals and the U.S. silver dollar were both recognized for their stability and purchasing power, reflecting silver's enduring role in the economy. The ancient Roman denarius and the Greek drachma further illustrate silver's historical significance as a trusted currency, providing individuals with a tangible asset that retained value over time. Current market dynamics, production ratios. The annual production ratio of gold to silver is approximately 9 to 1, 10 to 1. We read that, highlighting silver's relative abundance compared to gold. However, the above-ground stock of gold to silver is estimated at around 70 to 1. This disparity underscores silver's potential as an undervalued asset. It's an undervalued asset. How many times have you heard that? Increasing demand. The demand for silver has been, you can read it on the screen here, is projected to rise significantly due to its essential role in various industries, particularly energy technologies such as solar panels. We just saw all that, okay. Economic instability talks about that. The current state of the global economy characterized by high levels of debt, unprecedented fiat currency issuance, raising concerns about inflation and currency devaluation. Precious metals have historically served as safe haven assets during economic turmoil, offering protection against currency fluctuations. I'm telling you, I'm going to get to at the very end of this. I think you and I are going to have a conversation about this. I'm going to ask it one more thing after this. Wealth preservation. Investing in silver not only serves as a hedge against inflation, but also provides a tangible asset that is less susceptible to the risks associated with paper assets. In times of economic crisis or market dislocation, precious metals have retained their value, often experiencing significant price increases. For instance, during the 2008 financial crisis, silver and gold prices surged as investors sought refuge from volatile markets. The future outlook. Given the current trajectory of economic and geopolitical developments, many analysts predict that silver could reach historic price levels, potentially exceeding $100 per ounce in scenarios of heightened demand and supply constraints. Some even suggest that a true market reset could see prices climb to $650 or more, aligning with historical purchasing power. Such forecasts are supported by the increasing recognition of silver's value in both monetary and industrial contexts. Conclusion. In conclusion, the case for investing in silver as a means to protect wealth and store labor is compelling, with its rich historical legacy, favorable production dynamics, increasing industrial demand, and proven resilience during economic downturns. Silver presents a unique opportunity for investors. As economic uncertainties loom, diversifying one's portfolio to include precious metals like silver not only offers a hedge against inflation, but also a strategic move towards safeguarding one's financial future. Investors should consider allocating a portion of their wealth to silver to ensure long-term security and stability in an unpredictable world. That's AI's response. So that's interesting. I mean, that the AI would come up with that, huh? I mean, it is. And I get there's some skepticism there. It's not put all your weight on it or anything like that, but it definitely has its flaws and weaknesses. But it's to see it formulate these types of pieces for us is interesting. And I wonder where it will be in its ability to come up with these things in the future. And I think there obviously is an awakening. I mean, if the more, I think the knowledge or these ideas, I mean, we've seen it here. I mean, I hear it from people in the precious metals community all the time. Silver Slayer had a great thing the other day. He actually reached out to me in the chat here. Some of you were present, and he posted a video on his community wall, shouting out that this channel was there for him and others, as far back as 2014, even though I think I was doing this before that, even 2012, 2013, somewhere in that range, 2011. And I just wonder how many people in that time frame not only took information from this channel, but then themselves and went out and told others. And then you see this huge movement. There is an awakening when it comes to precious metals. Even AI is awakening to it in a way. And I think the message is spreading. And there's an organic movement of recognizing these values, recognizing the role of precious metals that otherwise wouldn't have really occurred. I mean, we all did it together. And I'm not saying anything that I did this. I did, of course not. But we all played a role in it. And I wonder what kind of effect that had. You know, I told one person, and that person told two people, and those two people told persons. And it just spread from there. The point is, I think that more people today are realizing the value of precious metals. And Todd Fox says, older videos are a great historical message. Yeah, I mean, if any of you guys get a chance, if you're a channel member, you have a coin after your name there, you have access to all of the videos. There's a lot that aren't seen anymore. They had to lock them up and hide them. But the channel archives are somewhat historical nowadays. And you can go back a decade and watch videos here of us discussing different prices and movements of precious metals on a day-to-day basis, which I find sometimes pretty intriguing when you look at what was going on then, what we were talking about, and there's just the types of news that was percolating at the time. But you know, I was flattered the other day, again, back to that, seeing that Silver Slayer talk about this channel in such a positive way, and giving me some credit for being one of the very first channels, one of the OGs that influenced him to the stacking world and inspired him to do this, to do what he's doing as well. So that made me feel pretty good. That had a big effect, because then now he's got 100,000 subscribers, and he's sending out the message for precious metals. I'm still stuck at 30. I mean, I'm shadow banned. YouTube hates me. I've been thrown in the gulag. I have been reprimanded. I've been corrected. I have been slapped on the wrist. I have been warned multiple times because of, remember when I was talking about medical things? If you recall, there was a big medical event that took place a few years ago, and I was somewhat against being stabbed in the arm by certain people and injected with certain chemicals. And I got in a lot of trouble, and this channel has still been stuck in shadow ban land, and a lot of people can't find it, can't see it. You guys experience problems with that. Thankfully, I've got Patreon. I've got a lot of people on Patreon that keep this channel going and support it. I've got channel members here, but I keep going. I'm going to grind it out. I'll go as long as I can. I will go as long until they delete me eventually. I think this channel will always exist. Yes, there's periods of time where I take a break, or where I'm busy, where I have to walk away. I do other things, but I'm always here. I'm always coming back to you, and you'll always be able to find me here at some point, especially when big things happen. But I wanted to ask ChatGPT something else, and I'm trying to remember what it was. What was it? I wanted to ask it something else here about precious metals. What was it? I can't recall. It was about gold and silver, and about silver production. Something with silver. Let's see. Let's just ask it this question. Do you predict in the future governments specifically the United States will forcefully require citizens to turn in their Here we go. Do you predict in the future governments, specifically the United States, will forcefully require citizens to turn in their precious metals during some type of alleged economic emergency? Is there historical precedent? If so, what would the argument be for what excuse or reasoning would the state, aka the government, use to employ such a measure? Let's see. I've never asked it this question before. What do you think it's going to say? Mental medalists. Don't give it ideas. Abort. Low, man. Come on. We're going to fight this thing, man. Here we go. Let's ask it. Beep, 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 beep. Here we go. It's spitting out an answer. The possibility of governments, including the United States, requiring citizens to turn in their precious metals during an economic emergency is a topic that raises significant concerns among investors and collectors. Historically, there have been precedents for such actions, and understanding these can provide context for potential future scenarios. Look at this. Historical precedent. Executive Order 6102, 1933. The crippled gimp communist Fed, FDR, during the Great Depression, FDR issued this executive order, which required U.S. citizens to exchange their gold coins, gold bullion, gold certificates for U.S. dollars at a fixed price. The government justified this measure as necessary to stabilize the economy and combat deflation. Those who did not comply faced significant penalties, including fines or imprisonment. We're not complying this time. We learned our lesson. Yeah. Wartime measures. During World War II, various countries implemented measures to control and confiscate resources deemed essential for the war effort. These actions included the collection of precious metals, which were viewed as critical to national security and the economy. Possible future scenarios. Economic crisis. In the event of a severe economic downturn, the government could argue that requiring citizens to turn in their precious metals is essential for restoring financial stability. The reasoning could be that hoarding assets undermines the economy, and redistributing these assets could help fund government programs or stabilize currency. So watch out for these excuses. Watch out for it. These are what they're going to say. Don't worry, we're going to fight this with everything we got. National security. During periods of heightened geopolitical tension or conflict, the government might frame the confiscation of precious metals as a necessary measure for national security. The argument could be that precious metals could be used to finance adversarial activities, or that their availability is critical for military readiness. Remember the Trading with the Enemy Act. Government justifications. In implementing such measures, the government could use several justifications, including economic stability, public welfare, regulation and control. Arguing the government needs to ensure that all citizens have equitable access to financial resources, especially during times of hardship. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Claiming that the measures needed to protect the economy from collapse and to ensure that the availability of resources for essential services. Framing the measure as a way to regulate financial markets and ensure compliance with taxation and reporting laws. Taxation. Conclusion. While the prospect of governments requiring citizens to turn in precious metals remains speculative, historical precedents exist that illustrate the potential for such actions under specific circumstances. Economic emergencies, national security concerns, and market dynamics could all serve as justifications for government interventions. Investors in precious metals should remain aware of these possibilities. Now, we'll just hide them and consider the implications for their assets in the context of broader economic trends and governmental policies. Where is the metals? Where are your metals, Junius? You must tell us where you hid your metals. We have ways of making you talk, old man. We have very elaborate ways of making you talk, old man. Where are your metals? Where are your metals? You'll never get them, man. Oh, man, they'll blame us for stuff. But good luck trying. Hey, thanks, TW. Silver will unburden what has been. What has been unburdened, what is unburdened will unburden what has been unburdened, to quote Kamala Harris. Thanks for the super chat, my friend. I appreciate it. Anyways, you can have fun with ChatGPT. You can ask it all kinds of questions, have it formulate things. That's what I was doing yesterday. I had a little bit of fun with it. I shared with you a lot of what we did. It was good. But silver's at a 12-year high, 32.43, up 41 cents, up 1.29% today. What are we at still? Oh, it looks like it retreated so far from its high today. It was up at 32.93 earlier. Is that correct? 32.97? So it's almost breached $33. Beautiful. Hey, everybody. Keep stacking. Keep raiding. The raid never ends. Thanks for being part of the Junius Maltby Channel. I know it's a simple channel. I don't have as many graphics or cool intros and outros as other channels. I do what I do. I do my best here. I do what I got. So I appreciate you guys being part of it. And again, if you're not a channel member, consider becoming one. You'll get notifications. You'll have access to hidden videos. You'll have access to 100% of the material that's uploaded. Whereas right now, if you're not a channel member, you're not going to see all that stuff. Also, Patreon members, I appreciate you. I know what you do for this channel. You support this channel in a way that's special and dear to me. And it's always there regardless of the shadow banning, regardless of YouTube's attacks. And it's the ultimate backup. You're always there. I appreciate it. I post all of these links, all of these videos there so you can find them on Patreon, but also it's a level of support that exists outside of YouTube, so I appreciate all of you there as well. That's it. I mean, anything else you guys had going on, I'm here for you for another few minutes at least. I do my best, and my motivations are pure. Let's just put it that way. I didn't start this channel thinking that even more than 100 people would ever show up, not even more than a dozen. I didn't start this channel with any motivation other than having this conversation with people like yourself. Whoever would come would show up, would be here, and whatever I could share, I could share. That's it. I mean, there was nothing there. I didn't know where it would go, where it would take us, what would occur. Anyways, Aaron Razy asked Chat. I can't get dirty, my friend. This is a family channel sometimes. There's kids that might watch this. I can't do that. But I get it. And I, in other ways, at another time, I think I would. Perhaps you can. But I get it. I think it's hilarious. We could ask ChatGPT anything, but again, I appreciate you guys. Appreciate y'all being here. I do. Thanks for being part of this channel. It wouldn't exist without you. Again, if I showed up on here and tried to do a live and there was nobody there, well, I'd just turn the computer off, walk away. That's it. The only reason I'm here is because you are there. This channel is you. We're all part of the Junius Maltby community channel. Some of you even have the coin itself. And that reminds me, every once in a while I re-entertain the thought of having a coin struck again. And it's dead end every time. What's interesting is I have the dies. They're in a drawer. I have the actual dies from the first silver round. But the problem I run into is, number one, I don't want to restrike the exact coin because I fear that puts those who have the original that is under 1,000 mintage at a disadvantage, because then if there is some type of numismatic value, which I doubt, apparently there is, people pay something for them on I've heard about them closing on eBay, but the obverse face with the face of Marcius, I think that die is important, could always be struck again. The reverse we could change. I've thought about having Mrs. Maltby design a reverse for it. I would love to send that die, the obverse die, to a reputable good mint somewhere, someplace like the FIAT mint, or somebody that we all know or could agree on, that would like to help design a reverse die. They could have the the obverse and strike another coin for this channel community once again, a Junius Maltby Part 2 coin, if you will. But the first, it would just, I could add a PV mark, a PIV mark, you're right. I mean, I've got both dies. So if that's a great idea, low blood pressure. I've tried, nobody's reached out, nobody's even responded. I've sent, this was in the past anyways, but if any of you want to try the legwork on that, you have my blessing and permission. I've got the dies. If we can find, and you've got my email, if we can find a mint or somebody that wants to add a privy mark, if someone wants to engrave a privy mark into the dies and restrike a Part 2 coin, I'm all up for it. I mean, shoot, we could do a privy mark of the emoji symbol. We could do a privy mark of something else. Something, you guys could come up with something. I've got the dies. They could be, the reverse die could have something added to it that would set it apart and make it different from the older coin. I'd be happy to have those struck somewhere and have you guys able to buy them whenever you want to, a 1 ounce round again. You just let me know. Again, there were a lot of work went into that coin. We have Luigi Badia engraved. A phenomenal world-class guy did the obverse engraving of that coin. It's a work of art, the face of Marcius. I'm very impressed that he did that. So let me know. I mean, what you guys think. Smart Silver Stacker could ask the Scottsdale guy. Yeah, one of you guys, if you guys do the work on that, I've tried. I mean, you have my blessing. Email them. It might help having it come from potential customers. My thing is, all they have to do is have the dies and list the coin on the site, and you guys, people can order it. I mean, we'd all order some, and I think they'd be impressed with the volume of silver they move. It would be nice to get that coin out there again. I know the reason I say that is so many of you message me, and I see it in the comments. There's a lot of people that are new to the channel or within the last several years. They weren't around when that coin came out. They don't have the ability to find them and access them. And I'd love to be able to issue that coin at spot or as close to spot as possible. Obviously, the mint's going to want to make something of it. They're not going to do it for free. But I'm not going to be like Trump and sell it for $100. Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! No, I'm not going to do that. Like the $100 for a silver coin that only has $32 in it. Oh my goodness! I mean, or like the U.S. Mint, for example. The U.S. Mint does it every day. You know, they strike these for $100. I don't even know. Are these even a? I don't even have one of these. I kind of would like to get one, but. Yeah, they're not even a full ounce. That's the crazy part. It's 0.859. So the U.S. Mint's totally, let's do the math here. I remembered that because they're not even, because they did them the same size, but the size makes it not 859 times. Today's value is 32.31. There's only $27 worth of silver in the Morgans and the peace dollars that they're cranking out. There's only $27 in there, and they're selling for 95. So the U.S. Mint is the same. They're criminals. They're criminal activity. Now, I would like to sell mine. If we did a channel round that you guys helped bring about, obviously. I mean, you guys helped fund that initially. Like 50 cents, whatever the lowest premium over spot we could go. That's what I would try to get. I would target the lowest premium over spot. So there you go. Let's see. Mr. 1 MOA says, Junius Maltby, you were the one who convinced me to get precious metals about 5 years ago. Keep up the great work. I appreciate it, my friend. I like hearing those things. When I hear that from people, honestly, it makes my day. It does. It helps me in a way that I think you can't even hear or you can't even see. It's a motivation, all right? It's an energy that keeps me coming back to this. Honestly, it truly is. When I read those comments online, even people that don't reach out and say that, they don't even say it to me directly. I'll see it in conversations with others or on other channels and comments. You know, it's very flattering. I'm very humbled by it. And I genuinely truly value that type of feedback. It's probably one of the most important things that I hearing from you guys, that positive things like that. Low blood pressure, says Junius. I've been bored here for over 10 years. That's my job, man. I talk you to sleep. Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate that very much. Gold continuous contract 2688. What did it hit today? At 27? Yeah, it did hit. It broke 2700 earlier today. Broke 2700. Gold continuous contract. Ooh, look at that. Gold April 2025, 2730. June 2752. So those are the contracts. That's where it's going in the future. Do you guys see that? That's intriguing. So those contracts for gold, let me take a picture of that. Yeah, I didn't see that before. Gold contracts for the future are way high. Wow, close to 2,800. You guys seeing that on the screen there? We got 2822 for the February 2026 contracts here. Gold 2025, 2798. If that doesn't tell you something, what is the silver continuous contracts, I'm wondering? Very silver continuous. I wonder if there is one. Let's see. Here we go. Silver continuous contract. I want to check it out. So it's 3220 here. What are we at here, though? 33 for silver for July next year. They got it at 3312. Silver September next year, 3314, 3366, 3350. Okay, we'll see. There's going to be some movements taking place, but it looks like overall going forward, pretty bullish. Pretty bullish going forward. All right, my friends. That's it for today's morning broadcast. I think we covered it all. I showed you the ChatGPT stuff. We looked at the prices exploding out of where they were. Talked about the Trump coin and the stupid media that's got Trump derangement syndrome. He lives rent-free in their heads. So if you hear anybody mention that, just show them the U.S. Mint. The garbage coins there. The woke garbage. God damn. Let's go there. Before we log off, come on, I got to show you this. I got to show you what really ticks me off about these people. Where's their quarters? All their women quarters and stuff. Look at this. American women quarters roll. I mean, look at these things. It's just, it's the worst. I'm out. And this is me out. Like, look at this coin. Hope. I mean, and you read about these women that they have on these quarters. Just read about them sometime. What kind of font is that? Do you see the font that they're putting on these coins back here? I mean, yeah, you start reading about the women they're putting on these coins, you'll run from them. Yeah, what's funny is, you know, some of the non-ideological stacking channels, they'll be all, look at this stuff. They'll be all over these. They'll buy them, they'll do videos on them, and they'll applaud the U.S. Mint. They just don't get it, that the U.S. Mint is essentially part of the enemy Leviathan state, and don't support them. Don't buy coins from them anymore. Avoid the U.S. Mint as much as you can. Boycott them, boycott them, boycott them. They don't produce anything good anymore. They don't have any artists. It's just woke Marxist engravers, commies. I could use all kinds of other words, but I'll be banned, so I can't. But just don't go near them. It's complete garbage. It's garbage. It truly is. It's the worst. It's truly the worst. Yeah. I'd rather buy silver coins with the black spider in a white circle and a red flag than that. Honestly, I really would. I'd rather buy old coins from, like, you know, the Reich of Germany and have them in my coin box than anything from the U.S. Mint today. Anything from the U.S. Mint today. That's probably going to get me. I don't care what you think. I don't care what your feelings are. F your feelings. Historical purposes. But anyways, that's it for today's broadcast, my friends. And I appreciate all of you for logging in, tuning in, spending the morning with me. Thanks, and have a good rest of your day.